The day is the 20th of November. My name is Ed, and I'm recording this about halfway through the day compared to the previous video, which was recorded early in the morning when I was still waking up, so that was fun. But now I'm more awake, more alert, I'm ready to review some more cards. Starting with Raiding Party, a 3-mana rogue spell, draw 2 pirates from your deck, combo, and a weapon. So it's an arcane intellect that tutors, but also can draw you 3, maybe, if you combo it. It'll be good for this supposed pirate-based rogue. Unfortunately, pirates are more along the weaker side, individually, and even with things like patches and other cards in Wild. I don't think this card is going to really push that archetype. If it was even, that'd be amazing, because then it would probably see play, because you draw a weapon, you could draw 2 pirates, and then just get a refuel, possibly even get Ticket Scalper, and then just draw even more cards, but sadly that's not the case with even rogue. Grave Horror, 12 mana, 7/8 priest minion with taunt and costs 1 less for each spell you've cast this game. It's Arcane Giant, 1 less attack, you get taunt. It's alright. I mean, we've seen this card before. Arcane Giant I run in a lot of my more control-oriented decks because it's just the amount of spells that I run. Even if you only get like 5 or 6 spells off, so this costs like 7 or 6 or whatever, that's still pretty decent. Like, I mean, pretty slow granted, but you could still get away with pulling off some cheaper dudes. And the thing that I've learned about Arcane Giant is that unlike Mountain Giant or Molten Giant, Arcane Giant was a card that was very slow because you had to actually have enough mana to cast a certain number of spells. And then on top of that, you had to actually draw the Arcane Giant. Whereas with the Mountain Giant, if you're playing Warlock for instance, just tap, and then you've got enough cards to play Mountain Giant for 3 mana, which is insane value. Likewise with Molten Giant, with now its pre-nerf state, Molten Giant, you can typically get down to like a really low health count, and then you can play it and then just taunt it up, and then it's just good protection value. Good for hand lock. This card is priest oriented though, so that's very unfortunate. However, a lot of priests do run a lot of spells. This could be good in like maybe some sort of Reno-based priest as taunt, which probably makes it better than Arcane Giant. Could be interesting. Untamed Beastmaster, 3 mana, 3/4, neutral minion. Whenever you draw a beast, give it +2/+2. So we got a little bit more of like neutral hand buffing going on. Every class is getting a beast Loa, so this is viable in all classes. You can give your Loa +2/+2. Whether or not that's good really depends on what the Loa is. I really don't see much hope for this card outside of a mid-range hunter deck, but I could be wrong. I'll admit that I'll be wrong. Spirit of the Tiger, 4 mana 0/3 paladin minion. Stealth for 1 turn. After you cast a spell, summon a tiger with stats equal to its cost. So if you played Blessing of Kings on Spirit of the Tiger or another minion that you control, you would then get a 4/4 tiger. This is really good obviously with Spiker Steed, Lay on Hands. Speaking of Lay on Hands, it's going to be really helpful for another card coming up. But Spirit of the Tiger, it seems decent at best. It's 4 mana for 0/3, which is pretty bad, but the value you can get off this is pretty crazy. If you can like pull off some insane high spells. That said though, Spirit of the Tiger is a card which is in, I want to say in like the wrong class, because a majority of paladin spells in Wild are the secrets, because they're 1 cost. And there's been a whole bunch of them that have been printed over the years. And even stuff like Humility, for instance. That's a basic card. There's just way too many 1-cost spells for Paladin, so we need to see like some good, bigger spells. Growl the Shark, 5 mana 2/2 Loa Beast for Rogue. Battlecry, eat a minion in your deck and gain its stats. Death Rattle, add it to your hand. So this is almost like 5 mana 2/2 draw a minion that you can't play until later, until after it dies. I was watching Famous Jake's video and he mentioned something about maybe consuming the darkness. 5 mana 22/22. Seems alright. I mean, this is okay. However, it is like, not only is it prone to silence, but also it's like a little bit of a slower card. You'd maybe want this in some sort of big rogue deck, but even then there aren't many. Well, I guess there is a big rogue deck out there that may want to use this card. So like maybe you consume Ragnaros or the Lich King, you get a 5-mana 10/10 Death Rattle, add the said card to your hand. I'm interested to see how this card performs in some sort of big rogue deck, because I don't see it viable anywhere else. Akara the Soulflayer, 10 mana 9/6 neutral legendary. Death Rattle, shuffle a Corrupted Blood into each player's deck. The Corrupted Blood is a 1-mana spell that casts when drawn and deals 3 damage to your hero, and it shuffles 2 more copies of it into your deck. So the obvious tech card to go against this is Skulking Geist, because the spells are 1 cost. The thing about this card is it's not really a card that really fits into any archetype I see. Aggro and mid-range decks usually don't want to run a 10 mana minion in their deck. And control decks, well, they want to drag out the game as long as possible. So what'll end up happening is once it goes down to fatigue, you can possibly win. However, if they have no cards in their deck, if I'm picturing it right, where the spell is cast, 2 more copies are shuffled into your deck, and then you draw a card. If it works like that, then it's a pretty gnarly combo there. However, that is a very specific scenario, and I don't really see it taking off. Actually, I lie. I can see it taking off. The problem is, it just seems really slow, and I don't know which class you'd want to do it for. Zandalari Templar, 4-mana 4/4, Paladin minion. Battlecry, if you restore 10 health this game, gain +4/+4 in taunt. So you thought a 4-mana 7/7 was bad. Oh boy, a 4-mana 8/8 is where it's at. The problem is it's a slow 4-mana 8/8. Worst case scenario, it's a 4-mana 4/4. Best case scenario, you restore 10 health, and then it's a 4-mana 8/8 good defensive card. Seems like a good card for some sort of heal Paladin deck, which Paladin got in Frozen Throne. You can even just play, you can lay on hands like I mentioned earlier, but you can also play the hero card, Uther of the Ebon Blade. Swing twice with your weapon, and then you just restore 10 health. And then that activates this card, which is pretty decent. Pretty decent tempo catch up. War Master Voon, 4-mana 4/3, warrior legendary minion. Battlecry, copy all dragons in your hand. So it definitely seems like Dragon Warrior is coming back. Even just dragon decks in general are coming back. I'm really interested to see how Dragon Warrior will perform. We've only gotten 1 card, I think, for Dragon Warrior in the past, and that was for the Grand Tournament. We've got now Smolderthorn Lancer, and also the upcoming Fire Tree Witch Doctor. 2-mana 2/2 neutral minion. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, discover a spell. So the spells are obviously going to be pretty good in Priest, also pretty good in Warrior. Warrior's got a lot of good spells. They also got a lot of bad spells. However, in the trailer that showed off War Master Voon, they came up with an idea where you copy some big dragons like Deathwing or something like that. You then play War Master Voon to copy those dragons, and then you play the Boom Ship. And then you've got like 2 12/12s with Rush, as well as 1 other dragon. It seems ludicrously overpowered, in a way. And I'm excited to see if this Dragon Warrior takes off and is more control-oriented, or if it's more mid-range oriented. Because as it stands, it could probably go either way. So those are all the cards that were revealed today. We got some more coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Until then, my name's been Zed. Take care, all.